Hi there, Michelle Frost from Mission Mojo, and I'm here with another quick video to give you just a couple more ideas on how you might work out what to write about in the coming blog challenge that we have going at Mission Mojo over on our Facebook group. So one of the first things I'd like you to think about is the pain points. We have talked about that in one of the earlier videos, but trying to work out what are people, what are they suffering from? What kind of answers are they looking for when they go online? Because if you can create a blog post or even multiple blog posts in the future which answer some of those questions, then your blog post will start turning up in Google searches when they look for the answers to their pain points. So that's the sort of thing we're going to work on. Now, one of the places you can go is a website called Quora, and it literally is a place that people go to ask questions. If you can think about it in the reverse side as well, it's actually a great place for you to go and answer questions. So it's quite possible that there are questions out there that you can answer right now, which would attract people to come back to your business, because you can set yourself up on Quora as a particular person with particular knowledge and things like that, and then you will get alerts when people ask questions around your particular topic. So it's quite a good way for you to go and even create a little bit of expertise of your own. So remember that, go and answer, maybe set aside a half an hour a week to go and answer some questions on Quora. You don't know what will happen. Could be quite amazing. So we're here, let's say, so my topic is work from home mums trying to come up with different ways that they can work from home. So if I type in work from home, and I might use the American term at the moment. Again, you can see it does a similar thing to Google, where it gives you some suggestions for other things that people have typed in, which are kind of related to what you're looking for. So maybe what are some good work from home jobs for stay-at-home mums? Or let me see, how can you earn money working from home without being a freelancer? And what are legitimate work from home opportunities for mums? Maybe I'll click that one. You get all kinds of questions in here. It's quite interesting. And then you can come down and see what some of the answers are. But what it does do is give you some ideas about what people are asking. What questions are they putting out there? So come and do a little bit of research for yourself. Also, I can answer this question just by clicking here and answering it, coming up with some good feedback for them. And you never know, I might get some people clicking on it and coming over to my site in order to find out how I can help them be work from home mums. So give Quora a go. And also, by the way, it turns up in Google. So sometimes when you're asking a question, you'll find that Quora turns up. One of the other ones, which is question based, I think is it Yahoo Answers? That often still turns up in Google searches as well. So that's another place that you could go along with Quora, just to get an idea of what people's pain points are in your area. But you can also see, the more you do this kind of research, you will see particular things bubbling to the surface. And of course, if you're seeing it in lots of places, that's probably a good indication that it's something that you should be writing about. Now, Amazon, believe it or not, is another place you can go to get a little bit of a feel for what people are talking about and what pain points that they have. And in particular, what I'd like you to think about is looking at the reviews, because often in the reviews, especially the negative reviews, people will be very helpful in pointing out exactly why this book didn't live up to their expectations. So here I've put in work at home mum. Again, I've used the American term just to get a bit more volume. And I've gone through and clicked various of the reviews, and then I've clicked whichever one. I wanted to make sure they had a 1 or 2 star reviews as well as good reviews. So, it didn't matter if they have good reviews. Probably more important for this activity that they have negative reviews in here, so very small reviews. So I've opened up a couple of tabs rather than clicking all the way through each time, just to give you a bit of a rundown. So in this one, they were complaining about the actual book, so yeah. But what I did notice is a lot of people in a lot of the books, when I looked at the reviews that were just 1 or 2, it was actually people saying they didn't go into enough detail. They didn't give me enough information about how I'm going to be a work from home mum. And including this one does that a little bit as well. They say they just talk really about living on the cheap and not only 2 to 3 ideas, and they weren't that impressed as a result. This one here, again, bad representation of making money. And again, they didn't have any real ideas that they would be able to follow through on. So that they found that a little bit disappointing. And again, a shallow treatment of this complex subject. Again, so what they were supposed to be talking about, how to become a successful work-at-home mum. So that's right on target for me, except that mine's even more targeted if you want to be a work-from-home mum and work online versus other kinds of things you could do. Again, there wasn't enough detail in this book. If you go and read the actual negative reviews, that's what you get from that. And the last one that I'll bring up for you, again, it's the same sort of thing. There just wasn't enough information in the book. So it was a good beginner book, for example, not enough detail. So that when you're coming to writing your blog post, maybe one of the things you should, in your area, if you were to get a lot of this kind of feedback in an Amazon research, maybe you should be making sure that the blog post that you do, this 1,500 odd word blog post, is actually full of detail, like how people do it, maybe step by step. Or if your blog is going to be more sort of esoteric, your blog post without so many step by steps, maybe you could include a checklist or something like that that's going to be useful, because that's what the audience seems to be calling for. Now, the last tip that I'm going to give you in this video when it comes to how to come up with your blog topics and making it a topic that is going to be very useful to your audience and ultimately get you more traction online, is to do a Google search for whatever your kind of topic is, your area, your niche, and add the word forums to it, because you'll be surprised there are still a lot of forums out there that people are using and they're going to regularly, and that it's a community, and they're talking and they're asking the kind of questions that you, as an expert in the area, are going to want to answer. So I clicked the top one, which is a very well-known work from home mums business online. Like they're very popular. This is their forum, and gosh, it's not the prettiest forum in the world, but it is a typical forum. So I went down and I went to this one here. So I went to business advice and topics. Of course, there's probably, here we have question of the week, for example. Actually, I'll open that one as well. The business and advice one came up with already quite a few. So how and where do you all advertise? So how do you advertise? Ways to make money, obviously that's a pretty obvious question. Things like how do you get people to your website? So again, some of these could be really good topics for a blog post, and there's heaps and heaps of other things out here. Trying to start first business but they need some help, so I could dig into that, see what's happening. It's a reasonably recent post in the forum. Mind you, they've had 0 replies in that one. But this one here, how do you get people to your website? They've had 24 replies and had 1,900 people actually look at it. So there's probably some good stuff in there that I could dig around into. Now, that's just the first page. So there's a heap of things in there. And then if I flick back to the one that was just question of the week, which season do you prefer? Well, I'm not entirely sure whether that's going to be very helpful. I assume... And you can just come and flick around. That's just the explanation for how this particular forum works. So if I click on it, let me see. I'm not sure how this one works. So, I guess they must put the question in and then they delete all the previous questions, which is a bit disappointing for me, perhaps. Or maybe they don't. Anyway, come and have a look. This is particular to my niche, which is the work from home mums. So I can dig in around here. The other thing you can do is do a search like this one, but use groups instead. And of course, you can go and have a look at groups inside Facebook. You could do some kind of search that way and look for places where people in your niche are talking. Because whenever you can find that, you'll also find that they're talking about the things that are hurting them in their life around that particular niche, that particular industry or that area. And it's a great place to work out different things that you can talk about in your blog post. All right, I hope that's helped. Let me know if you want any more information about different ways to do this, because there are lots of ways, especially with the web. There's so much we can do with research. All right, so get to it. start working out what are you going to do your blog about.